Welcome back to the studios of Hala Kuwait. And dear viewers, we have been joined by our second guest for this evening, Dr. Amar Behbehani, Chair of the Design College of Architecture, Senior Art Psychotherapist. Good evening, Dr. Amar, and welcome to Hala Kuwait.
Hello, how are you?
Great,
thank you.
I hope
you are fine.
Thank you so much. I hope you are doing well. And of course, we're very excited to have you with us, especially that today we're not going to be talking about psychotherapy alone, but we're talking about art with psychotherapy. So in the beginning, why did you pick art and psychotherapy?
Well, at the beginning, I picked design, actually, not even art or psychotherapy. And when I was studying to be a designer and then studying to be a master holder in design to teach, I discovered that the field of psychology and design and arts is intertwined because they both depend on human behavior.
Yes.
And they both depend on the trend of your thoughts, the trend of your behavior on everyday life and what you need. So I just decided, why not mix them both and study a profession called art psychotherapy.
That is amazing. And I think you're the first person that I've met that does art psychotherapy. It's not something we come by every single day.
We have therapeutic arts. People use arts for healing.
Right.
But as art psychotherapy, as a profession, as an assessment profession, and as a therapeutic profession, and as a methodology to modify human behavior, we're a little bit rare. In the Middle East, we have around like 6 or 7 actually.
Wow.
In the Gulf and Egypt.
That is amazing. So how would you define the relationship between human behavior and design? You mentioned that there is this correlation between both.
Yes. So human behavior is the engine of design. When we design, we provide a service. When we're doing art, we're expressing ourselves.
Yes.
Both are because we have a human brain, a human mind, and a human body. The psychological part is the engine that drives design to you.
Yes.
So what you think is what you need. What you feel is what you need. And then it becomes what you want. And design designs what you want.
That is very interesting. So can you describe the role of psychology in the design process? How does that work?
Yes. In design, when we start using design as a learning outcome, like inside the school system, we have something called research and design thinking.
Yes.
One of the most important elements is the user experience. So when you want to study the user experience, you have to study the psychological part, the emotional part, the psychoanalysis part, the psychosocial part. So they're all like a holistic approach. And psychology is derived by them, and design is derived by psychology. So it's sort of a yin-yang situation. And I would say like a comprehensive process of thinking. And that's what design is to psychology, and what psychology is to design.
That is really great, putting both of these things together and seeing them as one. So you mentioned researching human behavior. How does that work when it comes to approaching a new design project? How do you start with that?
Because design is based on empathy, empathy is based on human behavior. So when we want to design, we first study the audience.
Yes.
Okay? And the audience are based on their behavior, they say their psychology, and their ability to use the designed product that you end up with.
Yes.
So for example, designing for children is different than designing for adults. Designing for women is different designing than men. Designing for disabilities is different than designing for a normal human being that can use everything normally.
Right.
So if we don't study that human element, we call it the human factor in design, the design becomes flawed.
Definitely.
So for us to reach effective design, we have to have that consideration, because at the end, the human or whoever you're designing for is going to use that product.
Exactly.
Whether it was human, whether it was animal, whether it was an artificial intelligent agent.
Definitely, and I think that's the beauty of design, that it caters to us. It needs to cater to us.
It
We're
has
using
to.
it at the end of the day.
Yes.
For sure. So I'm sure there's a lot of misconceptions out there. What are the misconceptions or common misconceptions that designers have about user behavior?
So the common misconception is that sometimes design has to be universal. I completely agree that design is universal, but also in our life in Kuwait, or in our cultural experiences, we like custom-made design.
We do.
And we love the handmade product. And we love something to be customized to us. So I want to tell people that you don't have to lose that to have effective design. You can actually hire people that custom make your design. So I completely understand that people sometimes, because of the prices and the financial background of their society or their ability to buy a product, they use universal design.
Yes.
However, they can also have effective results if they customize. I don't believe also that design is expensive. Design could be very effective, because when you think of it, if you design something properly, it lives longer.
You don't need to buy a new one.
You don't need to
like
buy
the
a new
universally designed pieces. And I think
Exactly.
we have access to that in Kuwait. You can find so many places that are happy to customize things for you while they're still functioning well.
And our learning outcomes have amazing designers. And they're out there in the market. They actually work in the private sector and in the government. And all you have to do is just research effective designers.
Definitely. I think that's a really great tip for everyone watching. So, in your opinion, what are some key elements of design that can influence user emotion and decision making?
The key elements of design is actually using design. يعني a lot of people have the misconception that they can do it all.
That's true.
And you know, if you don't use the experienced designer, you will not reach the expected result. And I know that people think that, you know, how can I afford a designer, and how can we do an effective decision with a designer or without a designer? But I'm saying today that if you actually invest in a designer, invest in a person that can plan for you, and follow the process of design, which is a key element. The process of design is empathy, is using the audience experiences, doing the research, focusing on different solutions, and that's what a designer brings to the table.
Definitely.
In College of Architecture, we have 3 professions. We have the design-based curriculum, which is the visual communication design. We have interior architecture, and we have architecture, and they're all designers.
Definitely.
In different fields. So if we can actually understand how design is effective and how we can have things that are beautiful and functional at the same time, then we reached that equilibrium with the universe.
Definitely. I think that's everyone's aim, to have functionality while there's still beauty.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, a lot of things that are functional out there don't look so good when you're looking at them, especially when it comes to design and aesthetics. So technology, we've been using it with literally everything lately, right? So how do you think technology changed the way that you study and understand human behavior? Do you think it has changed it in any way? 100%.
When we first started as designers, we used the pencil and we used the ruler, and we use things that make our design more technical. And then we use methods like arts and coloring and design. Now we have artificial intelligences, AI.
That's right.
Okay, we also have software that make. So in specific, technology made our designs faster, made us exposed to so much research engines, and we can basically, the world is in our hand.
That's
because
right.
of technology. I'm not against artificial intelligences when using it properly, because even when you want to conduct artificial intelligences, you have to know the language. So in order for you to know the language, you have to study the theories of design.
For sure.
So yes, it made it faster, it made it more efficient, it made it more available. So this is the only drawback, actually, because it's too available.
Yes.
A lot of people are using design as a method rather than a product or a process. So when it's a method and it's not studied well, it could be designed properly, but it won't live longer
Definitely.
than expected.
It's going to be there just for the moment.
Definitely.
Well, Dr. Amar, unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you so much for bringing us into your world of art and therapy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this interview, and I'm looking forward to more.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewers, we had with us Dr. Amar Behbehani, Chair of the Design College of Architecture, Senior Art Psychotherapist. Up next, we're going to have a report, and we'll be right back.